1, 2, 3.
Where are we at, Brett?
Rainy River, 2021.
There we go. Ooh, nice one.
Kind of full day. Want me to scooper?
There we have it. The first walleye of the open water season. So right now we are on the Rainy River. It is Thursday and we are out here on open water. We are in the big boat, so we're not sneaking out over, with the John boat over the ice. We launched the big boat. Water temperatures are about 35 degrees and we are on the board with an awesome walleye. All right, I'm gonna get this one back in the water and we're gonna catch some more.
Oh, I'm gonna see rainy fish.
Yeah.
Well, look at you, Walter Mondale.
Taking a break. The softest of bites. Man, she looks too chunky to boat flip.
Boat flipper thing.
No.
Yeah, that one looks a little bit much.
We're doing it. We're doing it. All right. Another Walter.
I should be fishing instead of digging through my tackle boxes.
Yeah. Check it out. A little bit smaller than the last one, but we're out here catching fish. It's open water. Super awesome. All I'm throwing right now is just a super tiny little 1/8 ounce jig with a 4-inch impulse smelt minnow, which is just, a little straight tail plastic. And all I'm doing is casting it out and just dragging it back to the boat, and we're catching some pretty solid fish. This one is not as chunky as the last one. I have that on footage now. So I am definitely a hardcore ice head, and I love late ice. And despite the weather that we've been having lately, which has been a little bit of a bummer for me, one of the benefits is that the Rainy River busted open early. We were able to launch, and I'm gonna say it right now, Brett said I could say it. So if you are upset that I say it, you can blame him. We launched out of Birchdale and it's completely open. We got the big boat out here, which is awesome. And today is Thursday, I believe it's the 18th. And as far as traffic goes, there's definitely people out here, but it's not crazy yet. I have a feeling word's gonna get out this week and people are gonna be out here this weekend. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. This is a beautiful day. As you can see behind me, it's flat calm and water conditions are really nice. There's about 2 feet of visibility, which I believe is pretty good for this river as far as fishing conditions. Not too clear, not too dirty. So the current is not ripping at all. It's really not much current at all, which is one of the reasons why I'm able to fish this light 1/8 ounce jig. So when we were coming out here, I didn't think there was any chance that I'd be able to use anything less than a 1/4 ounce. But I know sometimes when people come out here, there might be days where you can't fish less than 3/4 ounce or even an ounce. So right now there's barely any current, and right now we're fishing up shallow, up in that 6 to 7 feet. And there's definitely some walleyes up here snapping. So we're gonna move around a little bit, try some different areas. But for now, we're catching a few nice fish. I don't think we saw too many people catch fish. Oh, there we go. Little guy. Get in here.
Boy.
All right, there we go. I just got done spending about 25 minutes helping Brett film a tip video. And now I'd casting for about 2 minutes and another walleye popped. And the area that we're fishing is starting to clear out. There used to be a bunch of people out behind us, but now they are gone. I'm gonna get this guy back in the water. Now they're gone, and me and Brett have this little stretch of the river to ourselves. It's flat calm, beautiful sunny day. It's like 50 degrees out. Water temps are actually climbing. We've only been out here for maybe an hour and a half or so, and water temps are already up about almost a full degree. So we're pushing right at 36.3 right now. So it's warming up, and I think the bite's only gonna get better and better today.
I think if you have any sick days built up, you might want to not go in for 10 to 14 days and self-isolate.
So as far as like the presentation goes, it's really pretty basic when you're fishing in this really cold water. You know, a lot of guys are gonna wanna use meat, you know, whether that's minnows, shiners, salties, any of that. But right now I'm actually just fishing just a standard kind of straight tail minnow plastic. Like I said, we're fishing pretty darn shallow, so I'm fishing an 1/8 of an ounce jig. If I wanted to fish a paddle tail in these same situations, I'd probably bump it up to a 1/4 ounce, or, you know, just something a little bit heavier for a bulkier presentation that has a little bit more drag in the water. But regardless, the presentation, no matter what bait you're gonna be doing, is gonna be pretty similar, and that's keeping it pretty close to the bottom, dragging it across the bottom, maybe giving it a few pops. The amount of action you give the bait is just gonna depend on the mood of the fish, and the mood of the fish is usually dictated by water temperature and current situations, and, you know, in a lot of cases, also water clarity as well. But as this water continues to warm up and conditions continue to improve, you know, over the course of several days, or even over the course of today, you know, as the sun is up in the sky, it's pretty warm out, the water temps are gonna continue to increase today. And as they do increase, in theory, you should be able to fish a little bit more aggressively and still get bites. So that's kind of where we're at right now. But, you know, all the bites I've got, like I said, have just been slowly hopping it across the bottom. I'm ticking bottom every now and then. Oh, there we go.
It didn't take long.
No, it's not big, but we're on the board. Little eater. Oh, he gone. There we go. All right. There we go. It's about almost 5 o'clock right now. What you didn't see on camera was over the last like 15 minutes or so, Brett has smacked a handful of fish on a hard bait. So that's kind of exciting, but that's more of an eater size fish. But it's definitely cooking right now. I'm just gonna get my line right back in the water. There we go. I like the bass set on them. It's another little eater size walleye there. Oh, and Brett's phone is ringing. So that's all the talking I'm gonna do.
That one?
Yep, this one's a little bit better. All right, how sweet is that? Wow, there we go, look at that. Look at that fish. That is amazing. All right, Brett, length estimate.
17.
Brett, okay, so here's a nice 17 incher. The sun is like, I don't know, maybe like 30 minutes away from hitting the horizon. And we're gonna probably try to not load up the boat here in the dark. But we are gonna fish a little bit longer. See if we can knock a couple more before the sun goes down. But oh, speaking of that, there's another one. Right, not a big one, but another open water walleye. This one has some nasty growths on its side. But yeah, the biggest key for us today is once we got right up on that current seam, that's when we started catching fish. And you can visually see it on the surface, especially on a nice calm day like this. You can see the current seams, and that's where we've had a lot of success today. And I would also argue early on, when me and Brett were both fishing jigs, I was fishing an 1/8 ounce, he was fishing a 1/4 ounce, and I was definitely catching more fish than him. I mean, could potentially be more factors at play, but having that lighter jig, I think, helped earlier today. Now it's like Brett's throwing a hard bait, and he's throwing the Wrap V, and I'm still throwing the jig, and we're both kind of catching fish back to back to back. But you're gonna have to go check out Target Walleye's YouTube page to see some of Brett's fish. You can just pass that back.
You really want to use it?
Yeah, I'll use it.
Gross.
I just didn't want to tie one on. Gross, he says, after like tying one on and then throwing it for like 4 casts. He's like, ew, you're gonna throw jerkbait? Yep. Oh, I just lost it. All right. Brett was not.
Oh, you picked up the jerk.
Yeah. Brett was not feeling confident in the jerkbait. First cast, I just lost one. I guess I can't brag, but
That's ridiculous.
If his reel was on the right side, the correct side, I might have landed that fish.
That is ridiculous.
Jerkbaits are cold water baits. So the biggest key is when most people fish a jerkbait, what they do is they go snap, 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 pause. Snap, snap, pause. But when the water's really cold like this, all you do is you pull it just a couple feet forward and then you let it rest. So this is a neutrally buoyant bait. It's not gonna float back up to the surface. You just pull it a couple feet, really, really subtle action. If you're too erratic and have it walking the dog back and forth, you're gonna scare those fish off. So just something a little bit more subtle. Pull it and then let it pause for, a few seconds. I bet there is. Oh, there we go. This one's a little bit better.
Is that on the jerkbait?
On the jerkbait.
Shut up.
Let's see, how do you eat it? Can I boat flip them? We're gonna take a chance. There we go. Try not to get a hook in the hand. Check that out right there. Turns out these little guys are willing to eat more than just jigs out here. Don't be afraid to try hard baits. Jerk baits, other, kind of subtle shad shaped baits would work good too, but yep, that's gonna be a pliers deal right there. There we go, I'll get her back in the water quick. Brett took about 4 casts, 3 casts with the pink X-Wrap and said, this is stupid, I'm putting it down. And I was talking about wanting to use a jerkbait earlier in the day, but I just didn't want to go into the box and tie one on. So I was being kind of lazy about it. But since Brett had already had it tied on, I said, I'll take that, I'll give it a rip. And yeah, 2 bites already. Been fishing it for like 10 minutes or so. I lost the first one, of course, because, it's a jerkbait, but hooked the second one. Last light. Probably about 10 minutes left or so of light here, but fun.